Hey, 13 Love, I want to share something real quick. Um, One thing that being in a union taught me was that I was imbalanced in my womb energy because my womb energy was thrown off. And how can I explain this? Women in ancient times were stern, we were authoritative, etc. When we went under the suppression of the enemy, that's when they tried to make women calm-tempered, only speak a certain kind of way, certain tone of voice, only behave a certain kind of way, very restricted. Now, although there were some benefits to that, there was a lot of negatives as well. You got to remember, the women are the power. The women sits on the throne. Nothing is higher than the feminine energy. So when the sisters or the daughters had to fall because of that imbalance in their energy at that time, falling and being under that subjugation period during the Piscean age sort of helped with balancing that fire, in my opinion, because it teaches you how to submit now to the masculine energy and see him as your equal. So now coming into the Aquarian age, it's about mastering both sides and putting that together where you're authoritative, but you know how to take, correction and deal with a stern, strong, fiery man. So, I had to learn how imbalanced that I was in that energy to be able to balance that out. And it's something that a lot of women unfortunately struggle with. And it's about us judging ourselves and seeing if shit applies and not taking shit so personal. But I had to see that within myself, and being overly sensitive, that's out of balance. Being overly aggressive, that's out of balance. All of that is out of balance. Being perfectly right in the mid L and being neutral. See, I talk with a lot of authority, and in the past, the only way I was able to do this was whenever I would get upset. Every other time, I was too much in that delicate, soft-natured energy, which makes you easy target to a predator. You have to keep your fire lit because that's where all the power is. So, a lot of people will try to suppress that in you by telling you that it's out of balance, as if you're supposed to walk around. It's a beautiful day today. There's a time and place for everything, and women are targets in this world. You have all types of different entities, beings that sacrifice, feed off of the women and children. So no, women can't walk around here like everything is rainbows and butterflies. But at the same time, uh again, that's a thing that is about, that's a balance, that's a balance thing, and it's not rooted in other people's perspective. At the end of the day, there's certain moments where, to balance my energy out, I may find that the Holy Spirit has me in a more childlike state, which usually takes place more so when I'm in private. That's what I noticed. And then the uh fire has been coming out more, but that's because I've been becoming, anyways, positive change has been going on over here with this full moon energy, and me going within and doing the work. So I'm exactly how I'm supposed to be and should have. I won't say should have always been, because again, to an extent, this power has to be suppressed or it's going to be out of balance. So that's how you have them women, they come off as so-called masculine or feminist or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And you could kind of notice the imbalance in them, where it's like they have the masculine aspect of the provider part down pat, like they do for themselves, or da da da, but they don't know how to submit and take care of the house and sacrifice their desires to be a mother, stay at home with their children. So they're missing that feminine aspect that we mastered in the Piscean age, where the woman was home with the children and the men went out and got their hustle on, and woman kept house and kept took care of the garden. So that's when we came more into that feminine energy, um, and had to like learn how to step down when it came to certain things. So yeah, I'm thankful uh, to be able come into self more and balance these energies out. It's very difficult. I don't have to be now upset for this energy to come out. As you could tell, anytime I'm speaking of something passionately, this energy comes out. But now I'm always in a constant state of passion. So this energy comes out more. And if people take it the wrong way, then their energies don't need to be around mine. But if you have a problem with my energy, you don't need to be listening to my content. It's no offense to you, but I'm exactly how I'm supposed to be. I'm exactly where the Most Highs want me to be. So anything against that is opposition, or anything against that is adversary, and you got to check yourself. So yeah, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. Because this is great. So to be here, but the heart is humble. The mind is at peace. Like those factors playing, and people think that those peace or joy and all these things is manifested as a calm tempered soft voice. Yeah, it manifests as that too. But peace can also manifest as fire. It can manifest as any element and any expression. It's not just fixed in my childlike nature, because oftentimes that childlike nature, or that people keep saying to be like because this was a trend I was seeing on social media where everybody was talking about how were you when you were a child. And the thing about it is, even that version of ourselves is not our best self, because that version of us wasn't taught right. And actually, our inner child is where all the wounds are, and that's where all the abuses we've ever gone through are, and that's where all the imbalances that we suffer with today are born. So yeah, go back to grab those good fragments, but at the same time, you don't want to stay stuck there, because that version of you wasn't perfect either, because of the uh, lack of proper developmental guidance and structure in those things. So, yeah, you really just want to completely death and rebirth, but you're going back, of course, to take the good fragments out of everything. Because, the childlike self is someone who needs guidance and etc., who needs protection, etc., of a lighthearted nature, unbiased, and is operating very imaginative, and is operating from the soul still, because they haven't lost their soul. So you adopt all of those things, but then you realize that that's not the most perfected version of you. That's where your insecurities were born. That's where self-hatred was born. That's where self-doubt was born. That's where idol worship was born, because you must, as a child, we weren't taught to go within. We were taught to look outside of ourselves. So the entire being needs to become clean. And it's like relearning how to be a child, because we weren't brought up right. you know we weren't told the things we needed to be told. We weren't loved the way we were supposed to be loved. um, and our minds weren't guided in the right direction at all. And you can tell if the upbringing was bad based upon who they become, or a person becomes as an adult, and what our lives look like. That's where you'll see the imbalance. So yeah, if you're struggling with mental and emotional and any of those things, it's rooted in childhood. You look back and you realize the first time you know you ever felt any of these negative things that we struggle with today is rooted back there, and you've been walking around with it your whole life. So even that version of you is shattered. So yep, it's complete death and rebirth. And just like now, I'm sure as adults we all have great qualities, but that doesn't mean that we're at the most perfected version of ourselves. We know more now than we knew as children. So it's like we're taking all of these good fragments from the positive. Like if you knew how to have fun, and you knew how to just be, merry, or when you was a teenager, you're taking fragments from that. When you're a preteen, you're taking fragments, all the good, because all of that was a reflection of what was good within, and you're just salvaging yourself. But all of it has to death and rebirth. I tell mama that all the time, because with me personally, I've opened up about it so many times. My childhood was not good. And I don't want to be that child because I never really got to be a child in the first place. You know, and when your innocence is robbed from you at the age of what, 1.5, what childhood was that? You know, the only thing that I had that was beneficial was my soul and the laws written on the heart and the imaginativeness and the innocence. That's what you want to adopt. But I don't want to become that abused girl again. No, I want to be better than that. Death, rebirth completely of even her, and let her be free from that cycle of pain. And yeah, so hopefully this was helpful to anyone that's out there. Got to be balanced. Can't just be oh, it's a beautiful day today. Like, I have that side too, and it comes out on its own. And then there's the passion, and the passion's been coming out more. And that fire only ever used to come out whenever I would get upset or get offended, or whenever I would say my so-called demons was there, which is when all my more disagreeable qualities would manifest, like impatience and just certain things that I struggled with that I knew I needed to refine. And then I started to realize, maybe about a year or two ago, I'm like, really, these so-called demons work for the Most High. So even when they're present, there's certain things that, if you pay attention, are helpful to you. For example, like my passion and my fire, because if I wasn't mad, I wouldn't stick up for myself. You understand? So when these energies was there, that would be the time I said, stuck up for myself or something like that. I was able to speak up. I just had to learn how to control that energy. And so that's when Abba says he made his demons work for him. Yeah, exactly. You take the parts of you that are out of balance, that you're not in control of, that are disagreeable, and you make them work for you. You understand? So when I got to put my foot down, I put it down. It's not the whole entire warrior out of you has to die out, and you just got to be this, I don't fucking know what people are expecting, but it ain't gonna come from me. If you think that's the right way to be, then you be that yourself. Stop telling me to be that. And that be the issue with people. It's like too busy trying to control someone else when they're out of control of their self, of their life. That's an entity upon them they have to realize. But if they tap into that energy, then they could tap into all the control of their own power. But because they're in an unconscious state, they're trying to control somebody else's power, someone else's life path, somebody else's fate, somebody else's destiny. That's wrong. You can't control somebody else. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful to anyone who may have struggled with that. I know I sure fuck did. You know what I'm saying? And it's all beautiful, even in this place right here. It's all beautiful. I love every part of myself. The good, the bad, the ugly, the in-between, the beautiful. It's all me. How could I fucking not love it? And people say, oh, that's arrogance. No, I would have loved if I was arrogant all my life, because then nobody would have had the power to put me down. The amount of self-esteem issues and self-hatred I had was unbelievable. You understand? I would have rather have been arrogant than to be battered through life. Because at least those people, even if it's an illusionary confidence, but through that confidence, you could get shit done in life. When you hate yourself, people who hate themselves are always in the bottom in society. Broke down, poor, allowing themselves to die off from addictions. Someone that's arrogant at least going to hit the motherfucking gym every day because they got an appearance they're worried about. And I'm not saying it's rooted in the right things. But unfortunately, I wasn't that. I was the one that was way at the bottom, that the Most Highs have to keep lifting up, which is the most beautiful path, in my opinion. But it's hard when you got other motherfuckers not helping. You should have said. Or it was hard. It's gotten easier for me now. I really don't give a fuck about I don't give a fuck about nothing that ain't the Most High's, man. I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck about a person's opinions, feelings, thoughts. I don't give a fuck, yo. I really don't. It feels so fucking good to finally be here. You don't understand how hard I work, how much pain I've been through. I'm gonna shine, baby, whether a motherfucker like it or not. Elohim made, Mama made, 13 love. Man, life is good.